Dark Knights of Steel issue 9. Tom Taylor writing, Yasmin Putri on the art. So I don't remember when the last issue of this was. It feels like each issue's been...
It's been a minute.
I feel like ever since issue 6, each issue after that's been really spread out. Like to the point where I forget it exists and then it comes back and then I have to readjust and try and remember what the hell was happening in the last issue. But the war just broke out, right? Because we had the big... It looked like Queen Hippolyta had just been murdered by Lara.
Yep. I was gonna say, and it's not Kara. Kara's not here, but yeah.
I was trying to remember just Cal's mother's first name.
Cal's mom.
I was just so there's some big things going on here. By the end of this issue, we kind of finally get an answer because we kind of suspected there was some kind of shapeshifter. With the Zala murder of the
prince.
The prince, yeah.
Well, there's that, and then the fact that Cal had attacked Bruce.
That's right. So we had multiple examples of like someone's not really acting in character. This feels like there's another thing. Yeah. And we thought for a while the Green Man was going to turn out to maybe be Martian Manhunter because maybe he's the one shapeshifting. Not quite, but we weren't far off with thinking
almost
about
there.
Martians because at the end of this issue, basically it turns out Alfred starts saying, no, this Lara that we're seeing here, because we see that there's two Laras. Everyone distinctly sees after a lot of fighting's been going on that there's two Laras, and one punches the other and says, "Who the hell are you?" And that's when Alfred comes running in, use fire, and I'm like, shit, it's a Martian. And sure enough, it's a white Martian, not a green Martian, a white Martian. And the ending reveal is that this isn't really Alfred. This is actually John Jones pretending to be Alfred. And he's like, I didn't realize that the last survivor was here.
Already here.
Yeah. So, big thing. And obviously you've got Green Lantern Joker up in the sky, who basically enjoys killing people during the fight, but decides to bolt at the end when he realizes, shit, they're onto what's going on here.
This is beyond me. Yeah.
I'm getting out of here.
Me.
So, okay, big revelation. That was a fun time. It's kind of like, one of the main things that's been fun about this book is the weird twists it's taken of like, oh, this is who's really like here and who's really the villain and who's really, like how do these characters fit into this version of the world, right? That was fun. That felt like a very Deceased reveal to me as well. This feels like something that could have been in Deceased. So yeah, and some of the characters are kind of piecing together. Even Constantine's admitting that it feels like we're being conned here somehow. Something's not quite right.
It was, because he's talking about his prophecy, but, prophecies don't always hit 100%.
Yeah.
And so, so now he's starting to realize that maybe he's been played. And so it's like, now it's one of these things. It's like, well, who else has the White Martians played? Like, have they, are they the reason, like, did they play Waller? And is that why Waller's been okay with locking everybody up?
And the question I'd have is, okay, but why are the White Martians, or this, at least this one White Martian, I don't know if it's just the one or multiple, but why do this? Like, what do they care? What's the end goal here exactly? Other than just to like make everyone destroy themselves? Is it just to take over Earth? Is it that simple? Just have all these powerful factions destroy each other and then we can waltz in and take control?
Yeah. Well, because that's what it is, right? It's chaos is a ladder, and these sides were already at a tenuous, the Kingdom of Storms and then the House of El were already on this precipice because of what Bruce was doing with all the powered people, and it built distrust. So all it needed was a little push. And this little push from the White Martians sent everybody to war.
Quoting Joker from Dark Knight there?
Just a little bit, right? Yeah. And this is what happens. And so just the fact too that we get the House of El isn't this power hungry, like we might have thought. They've been being played against each other using their images.
Also, I should actually say here, it's probably John Jones, but we don't actually know that it is him at the end. We just know it's a Green Martian, right? So technically, this could be another Green Martian. Just for full, it's probably just John Jones, though. Right.
I mean, however, we don't know too many other.
No, but I'm thinking that maybe in this, Earth, it's a different Martian survived. It wasn't.
True. Not just John.
I honestly think it will be. I'm just putting it out there that technically this could turn out to be, I don't know, Jack Jammies or something.
But yeah, so it was such a good reveal, and just with all of the stuff that's going on, because this just whipped through all of these different pieces of the war going on. And then when we get to Lara going to the dungeons, and you have Canary and Arrow in there, and Ollie is show me what you can do, show me how you sing, so they can get out. I thought that was such a good scene. And then he's like, how are you gonna fire a bow? You're missing an arm. Or how am I gonna fire a bow? She goes, use a crossbow. And he goes, that's perfect. There's a lot of fun little moments like that.
Do White Martians have heat vision?
I think they have all of the same abilities as the Martians, and I don't think the Martians do have heat vision.
So that's real Lara who's heat visioning Killer Shark?
It must be. Let me look. Let me look up the White Martians first, because Miss Martian, who, spoiler alert if you guys don't know this, is a White Martian, but she wants to be good, right? Like so she masquerades as a Green Martian, as Jean's niece. I believe they have all the same abilities. They're just, their culture was more conquering.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I assumed that it was the evil Lara who killed Killer Shark, especially since she says before she does it, I am simply here to remove threats to my people, and then, like, burns them with her eyes.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, can a White Martian do that?
Right. No, you're right. So I'm checking here. But maybe that's part of it. Maybe they did get Lara on their side, as one of these things. And that's what the threat to her people are, because they've shown like they don't trust the L's enough to go to war. I don't know. I'm just I'm rationalizing at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that'll be cleared up as we go. And maybe that's just a victim of it.
Right.
There's so many delays between issues that I just don't remember details enough to remember why she would do that if it is really just her.
So it says that they do have heat vision.
Oh, there you go.
According to the wiki.
In that case, it's just a White Martian. Then it's just a White Martian removing powerful threats. Okay.
Right.
All right. That's fair enough.
Right.
So yeah, Oliver's only got one arm. Remember, so he's using a crossbow now. So fun stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I really like that dynamic between them. But I say this all the time when Tom Taylor writes Canary and Arrow, is he really has their banter down.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so it's always a pleasure to read.
Yeah, and Batman's there. He rode in on Dragon during the fight, because obviously we knew he was with the Kents last time we saw him.
Right, and also when he goes after Cal, he goes, "Brother, you attacked me," and that's the first piece that we get. Like, Cal's like, "I did not. What are you going on about?" So. Well,
you would hope next issue is them realizing, okay, Alfred / Martian Manhunter is explaining that they're shapeshifters, and that can make them look back at all these events in the book and go, wait a minute, all of a sudden this makes a lot more sense if there's this third party who's pretending to be various people at various times. It's a quick read. I mean, if I have a critique of it, it's that because most of it's just the big battle, is that it just goes by so quickly and there's not really that much plot. Although obviously the ending's a big plot advancement, don't get me wrong, like it does something big by the end. But most of the issue is very much the fight on the battleground and the various characters getting into it. Good ending though. I can't deny the ending was a lot of fun.
I was not expecting the White Martians whatsoever. Right, I'm thinking this is just a fantasy style story of kingdoms at war, and that we're gonna find out that these people at the top make the decisions, but it's the people like the Kents, taking in the orphans and doing all that stuff.
I mean, I never said White Martians, but I was speculating a Martian.
Yeah,
quite early on,
because we brought up shapeshifters.
Yeah, and I think the reason why the White Martians worked so well as a twist here is because it's not really that different from a Green Martian or the idea that Martian Manhunter may be evil on this earth. It's just that White Martians are the lesser used one, right? So you don't necessarily think of them first. So this feels like, again, much like we've seen a lot in Deceased with Tom Taylor, is he's spotlighting like a part of the DCU that he probably likes that doesn't get as much attention or love as normal. So
just learning about when I was reading comics about the White Martians and the whole idea of they were the warlike ones, and that there was a, they had gotten locked away by the Green Martians, and then when the planet, when Mars died, effectively, there was this, lost group of them, and they come to Earth and masquerade as the Hyper Clan, and just this whole there was this whole piece of DC lore that I had not known, and it fits in very well.
It's why I don't like when they try and change or versions of Krypton's like demise is a bit more like warring factions. I like that Krypton feels more like, no, this was a climate change thing, and there's obviously debates on two sides about it happening as it would be, but I think Mars being this was a direct war with like one powerful side who were trying to enslave the other, and it it led to the demise. I like that those are very different versions of the worlds ultimately. I mean, Mars, the planet's not gone; it's still there, but it's the civilization
the
on
culture,
it's gone.
The Martian culture's gone.
Yeah,
right. So the fact that this was that group and I was not suspecting them. So we get that reveal, and then we get that Alfred is a Green Martian. I think that's really cool because
probably Jean.
Right. But of course he got in, and he's the caretaker to the Waynes or whatever. He got himself into a position to where, if need be, there were defenses if the White Martians did show up.
Do you think we get a backstory next issue as to what happened to the real Alfred? Like when it changed from being Alfred to being Jean?
Right.
Yeah.
Probably. We'll get what brought him here, because traditionally it's a very sci-fi thing that the radio transporter type thing. He gets caught up in that and is brought to Earth and gives the scientist a heart attack, and then that's how he's able to blend in and stuff. I'm sure we'll get a very fantasy style version of that. Maybe he's a castaway of some kind. I don't know, but it would make sense why when he was with the Waynes, if this is him, why they were so accepting of the L's, right? Because if let's just call him Jean. If Jean's masquerading as Alfred and is in the ears of the Waynes, I could see that him helping that along, because they're aliens just like him.
To be fair, the people might also be suspicious of him because they might not accept because the idea is he's got a lot of influence where he is, whispering in the people's ears that he does whisper in. So maybe they'll think he's also trying to just not do it by force, but he's trying to manipulate things for his side. But I don't know. We'll see.
It's a nice. It really freshened up the story in a fun way. And now you feel like they're gonna have to line up on the side, because I'm sure there's gonna be more White Martians. Because he said what he thought was the survivor, right? What was his words?
He says, "You knew I was a survivor of a dead world, but I never told you something else."
Gotcha. Yeah. So, but maybe there's more White Martians, and this is gonna lead, this Earth versus the White Martians, in the final 3 issues. So, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, this turned out to be a White Martian invasion, secret invasion style story. is an interesting direction. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, what are you giving this issue?
I mean, it's an 8.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with a 7, just because it does feel like it's just mostly the big battle, but the ending is very good, and I like the reveal and the direction that's going in there. Green Lantern Joker's still a bit wacky for my taste, but we'll see.
It's a hat on a hat scenario.
Yeah.